Good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning, and thankfully I got the day off today. Got done with the gym, getting ready to get my kids in a few hours, take them to the park. Gonna shave. Run down what I'm using. I'm using a sample I got. It'd be day 2 of the Jaime Cobos series. It's a sterling vanilla sandalwood. Put in a cheap little tub that I got. I'm gonna use Madame Scodioli dust shaker, which is the mahogany sandalwood. Stick with my Nathan Clark Air Force brush. And I'm going to use my new and just cleaned by myself. I posted some pictures of it. Ever Ready. Don't know the year of it. I haven't researched it yet. There's no dates. I forget when Ever Ready and Gem did their whole thing. But then it's a Gem Personna blade. Go ahead and start loading the brush. And I'm not sure if I'll get through fully what I want to talk about today in one video or not, so it might be a 2-part series. But I kind of want to give my testimony. Haven't done that before on here yet. I've only given it maybe a couple times. I wouldn't call it earth-shattering, but still my testimony, and I think it's important that we share it from time to time. And I just recently heard a friend of mine's and got me thinking about mine. So my testimony begins in Wisconsin. Born into a half Catholic, half Lutheran home, and the family decided to raise us Lutheran. And for those that don't know, the Lutheran Church, not to give it a bad name because it doesn't deserve it, but I always kind of looked at it as Catholic light. Very similar, they have some theology differences, but very similar in the way certain things are presented. But I was raised in a traditional, a normal Christian family, unfortunately, where you go to church occasionally, you start again when the school year starts, and you go for a little while, you stop, come back again for a couple weeks, stop. You got a good enough load in there. Never used sterling before, so this is new for me. So yeah, it's kind of on again, off again Christian family. Always believed kind of deal, but really never had the foundation for beliefs, other than just it's what I was raised in. And then this is when the church started turning me off, and that was in Lutheran church. You go through your confirmation classes in your 7th and 8th grade year, and my brother had done it before me, but I didn't know really anything about his experiences. But after 2 years of schooling, you'd go, I think it was once or twice a week. I think it was once a week, and then Sunday school, of course. We're a couple weeks away from taking the final exam. I had a test for it and everything. And right afterwards, the pastor pulls me aside and says, "I don't think I can confirm you." And I'm, of course, why? Invitations had already went out. What did I do? Well, lo and behold, the reasoning was because I was a Boy Scout. And the Boy Scout troop I belonged to, we used the Knights of Columbus Hall, which was attached to the parking lot and shared with the Catholic Church down the road. And according to at least the Wisconsin Synod of Lutheran churches, there's the Wisconsin and Missouri are the main two. They have issues with Boy Scouts, supposedly. I don't know if that's changed, so I'm speaking from my experiences back in the 90s. But they believe that Boy Scouts preach you're going to get into heaven by your works, and that determines everything. Well, so my family had to get me confirmed. Since they had already spent all the money, all that, it was a huge deal with my grandparents, everybody. So in order to make it work, my dad basically all but threatened the pastor. Said, "Listen, if you want a PR nightmare for your church," since our whole family was seriously involved with Boy Scouts, regional council, that kind of deal. He goes, "You will confirm my son." And that was it. So after that, we did the confirmation, and I didn't step back in that church again. Funny story there, real quick. My confirmation passage was Ephesians 2:8-9. Summarize real quick, basically that it's not your works that saves you, so that you can't boast that your works don't save you. Well, I was given that verse specifically for the reason I mentioned earlier. So now jump forward. I didn't go to church anymore. Here I am, getting ready to go to high school. Didn't step into a church again. Then I started dating this woman who went to a Lutheran church like 45 minutes away from me, and decided, okay, well, I should probably go back to my church. And before I went to a service, I went to her church a couple times. I went in and I figured, okay, well, I better talk to my old pastor. And he basically still insisted that I was wrong to be a Boy Scout and all that stuff. So I told him, well, I guess I really am never going to come back. As an adult, I'm making that decision. And never did. I never went back. Never will. So once again, I stopped really doing anything. Did a small work Bible study with some people, but started to believe again, having faith, but it was never really a solid foundation. So my life moved on. Went to join the military. Did church on and off again at tech school, but never really, it's kind of hard to really feel like you belong to a church that you're leaving in a few years, a few weeks and months. But yeah, I really never went regularly there. Got overseas. My first assignment was in Italy. Didn't really go to church there much. I went to a Pentecostal service for a while that a friend of mine invited me to. It was all right, but very judgmental church. Not saying Pentecostals are, but just the church itself. So because of that, I never felt, it was one of those where if I would miss church for whatever reason, the next week or 2 weeks later when I would show back up, it wasn't we missed you, hope everything was okay. It was like, where were you? Why weren't you here? It was a very in-your-face kind of judgment zone. So stop going there. Once again, bitter taste towards church, organized churches. So at that point, I'm figuring I'm done. Moved to the States. I meet my my girlfriend, then later wife, now ex-wife. So we decide we're going to get married. So now we got to find a pastor to marry us, and we figure, okay, well, let's start going to church. She was religious, but kind of like me, not really practicing. So I had heard, hey, the base has free pastors. They'll do the weddings for free, the chaplains at least. So we go there and, end up really getting, kind of got connected at first. But we quickly fell away. But then some months went by and we decided we wanted to adopt a child. So we went back to church. Because the organization we were going through was a Christian-based organization, so hey, you got to be involved in the church. Once again, brought us back into church. And then we really got our roots laid down. We went regularly. We really got connected. I did sound for 2 years. I was the head usher for a while. I'm going to go back to the puck real quick. Loading off a sample is always a little fun time. It's a good size sample, but I never seem to get a good load. But really got connected there, and slowly, but after a number of years, a lot of people we knew left. Even those who had retired decided to had been living in the area left. So church didn't really feel like home anymore. And it was really hard saying goodbye to people. Like every time, since I was here permanently then, since I got into active duty, and went full-time guard, it was like you were saying goodbye to people, and I was like, I really didn't like that lifestyle anymore. It was sad. So we started looking for another church. Didn't really find one. And long story short, long story long, just never really got back to our roots, and marriage fell apart, and got that little high. It was definitely not a grounded in God marriage. And like I said, it fell apart, and coming up next month will be 2 years since the divorce was final. So here I am at the gym one day. I started doing CrossFit, and I knew there was a hole in my life. I had already kind of decided I really needed to find God again, and I knew that was missing. Sorry, this is taking a little longer. I just want to do it against the grain. I really want a good lather. Sorry about that. I'm going to have to piece that together. My phone acted up there. I don't know. But, so I ended up meeting my pastor there. Or now one of my pastors. Just happened to start talking to him, and he mentioned he was a pastor, and started doing a men's group from there. And now I'm regular attendee, firmly believe it's, my life. It's, it's something that matters the most to me. So, just kind of my journey. Like I said, it's not really I guess I got it in one video. It's nothing earth-shattering. I partied through the years and did the typical things people do. But I'm finding that stuff really doesn't matter to me anymore. Part of that's age, but also just realizing where I'm at in life, where my priorities are. It's definitely God and family. And I just encourage you who might have gone down a similar path. Might have been turned away by churches before, or you might think those Christians are crazy because, hey, look, these guys are hugging it out. They're actually praying for each other. I don't want to say it's not very different than the shaving groups, because there is a lot of differences, but there's that same mentality. There's a lot of the same mentality of it's a brotherhood. Everybody and my brothers and sisters in Christ, I would do anything for them. And just like wet shaving in that way, it's a common bond thing. You start talking about God to somebody. Let me see where I'm at, touch-up wise. Get there. Not the smoothest shave today. I don't know. Just off today, maybe. But yeah, just a great group. I've got a small group of guys that I really associate with, and that's made a huge difference in my life. because they keep me in check. If I need help, they're there. If I'm struggling, they're there. And same thing with if they're struggling, I'm there for them. And so it really feels like a family for the first time in my life. So, like I said, it might be a little disorganized with what I said, but that's just the real quick version. Obviously, there's more in there, but I tried to hit some of the main points. But I think for those Christians in the church right now, please don't be what I described there. Don't be judgmental. Be welcoming, open arms. Because the person you push away at church or you look down upon, if they don't come back, you're partially to blame for that. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but it's true. You know, you're if you chase somebody out of the church, their salvation should be in your heart that you push them away, and obviously they're held to their own account, but you don't want to be that way. You don't want to live with that thought. But back to the shave real quick. Overall, decent shave. My technique was a little off. I got no irritation or anything like that, but I just didn't get as close of a shave as I normally do, which is fine. Day off today anyways. But the soap worked really good. Like I said, it was the Sterling Vanilla Sandalwood. I really liked the scent. Had a sweet scent to it, but then kind of a musky smell. I'm assuming that's the sandalwood. Performed really nice. The lather worked real easy. Interested to see in like a full-size puck how quickly the brush would load, but lather built good. I know in the past people have talked about a funky smell to it and all that stuff. I picked up nothing like that. My full understanding is that was very early variations of this soap, beginning type stuff. So if you've heard that like I did, and I've avoided it because of that forever, and I've finally got some samples to try, it's not there. I haven't picked it up. Others I've talked to don't pick it up either. So don't judge that soap by old reviews. Look at the newer ones. Get some samples. Try them out. It's one of the cheapest soaps out there from my understanding. From what I've looked, you can get pucks for like $7. And people ding it for, oh, well, you got to upgrade for the tub or this or that packaging. The only thing I care about in my packaging is there's a lid, screw on, push on, whatever, and I can load out of there. If you want to give me a plastic tub, you want to give me a metal tub, you want to give me this cool label. Cool labels are great, don't get me wrong. But end of the day, I judge a soap by what I get out of the soap. So if it's a $7 soap and I have to put it in like I did this like I said, a sample, but 5 for 99 cents at the 99-cent store, I'm going to love that soap. Overall good shave. I hope you guys enjoyed my testimony. Like I said, nothing earth-shattering, but tomorrow I'll see you guys, and I'll probably be continuing with the Jaime Cobos shaves. Thanks again, Jaime. You guys have a wonderfully blessed day. Love y'all.